All right, time to play some friendly fire with Royce White, Whitlock and White. Little friendly fire. Royce, I have a fantastic topic for us today. The Anti-Defamation League is at war with Elon Musk and Twitter. This has been playing out over Twitter, or X as they're calling it now. We've been hearing a lot of details about how the ADL, and I think his name is Jonathan Greenblatt, have basically been targeting X and Twitter and its advertisers, trying to basically put Twitter out of business. This isn't surprising to me. The ADL, not really all that interested in anti-Semitism as much as they're interested in controlling the conversation and limiting public discourse and free speech in America. I'm wondering, looking at Elon Musk engage in this war with the ADL, I'm wondering first, does this do anything to change or elevate your opinion of Elon Musk and what he's doing at Twitter? And then secondly, what should we make of the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, a Jewish organization basically going to war with free speech and Twitter?
It doesn't change my overall opinion of Elon Musk. I don't trust anybody who wants to participate in putting chips in people's brains. I don't trust anybody who wants to participate in the electric vehicle initiative all around the world. I think it's a means to impede the freedom of movement for citizens. It's gonna aid and assist the Fourth Industrial Revolution and all of these efforts to, control and dominate people through e-commerce, central bank digital currency, social credit scores, all on the way. And then they're not really shy about it. They're not hiding it. So I think Tesla and the EV vehicle initiative helps to do that. So I don't trust Elon Musk. And I don't trust him for not putting Alex Jones back on Twitter. I think that was an egregious error on his part when it comes to fighting for free speech. I think Elon Musk is out for Elon Musk. He's playing every side against the middle. And the ADL doesn't like Elon Musk. They find Elon Musk to be unpredictable, which I think he is. Unpredictability doesn't always bode in the favor of those who are anti-establishment. Sometimes it does, but the other markers from Elon Musk leave him untrustworthy.
So I kind of assumed that's where you would be, but let me ask you a little finer question to see if it doesn't. Let's say there was a scale of 1 to 100 you were grading Elon Musk on, and you had him at a 38. Mm-hmm. This fight with the ADL doesn't raise him to a 39?
No, it doesn't. I mean, look, the ADL is the ADL. Most of us know who the ADL is and what they're trying to achieve. The ADL are an organization that use the Jewish identity, that use the perceived threat of anti-Semitism the same way many pro-black organizations use the black identity or the threat of racism or white supremacy. It's a part of the same political hegemony. And the people who are in charge of those organizations, the people who run those organizations, they're no more interested in the prosperity or the well-being of the everyday black person or Jewish person anymore than the people they say they're trying to protect us from. That's just the reality. It's all a political game. It's a political chip. So the ADL, look, the Jewish lobby, both politically, militarily, economically, the Jewish lobby is very, very powerful. Nobody would argue that. Many Jewish people wouldn't argue that themselves. I'm around Jewish people every day. I have plenty of Jewish friends. I have plenty of Jewish loved ones. And there are plenty of Jews who are right now standing up against the New World Order, just like there are many blacks like yourself and others across the country who are standing up against the New World Order. The ADL is firmly helping the New World Order. The ADL is firmly in the monopoly of New World Order. So we all know who the ADL is, or we should. But that doesn't mean that
Hold
Elon
for 1
Musk.
second. Hold for one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Now you're back to my point. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that Elon Musk. That doesn't mean that Elon Musk gets brownie points for fighting again. They're probably attacking him. I mean, he has to defend himself, but him defending himself doesn't mean that he's defending us. Look, it's a very simple concept. The ADL is not a free speech organization. They're a censoring organization. They want to censor free speech. Elon Musk is lukewarm on free speech. So if they have a fight with each other over on their side of the fence, that's got nothing to do with me. I don't care about it. I'm not a fanboy for Elon Musk. Put Alex Jones back on Twitter. Stop hiring WEF woke CEOs and stop planning on putting chips in people's brains. And until he does that, he's out.
Okay, so let's say and I'm gonna get to the ADL specifically here in a second. But if he put Alex Jones back on Twitter, would that take him from a 37 to a 38 or a 38 to a 39?
Oh, if he put Alex Jones back on Twitter, that boosts him up to a 70. I mean, it can be overstated the amount of formerly thought of conspiracy theories that Alex Jones has been proven right about. It can't be overstated. And so when Elon Musk, yeah.
And so if his fight with the ADL doesn't make you think, oh, there's a chance this dude will put Alex Jones back on here. If he's willing to fight the ADL, he may be man enough to put Alex Jones back on Twitter.
No, that doesn't make me think that. No, not for a second. No, I think, in all actuality, I think there are certain institutions that are so deeply entrenched in the New World Order, so deeply entrenched in this globalist agenda, that some of them would in fact take a L in the public eye just to make it seem like Elon Musk is pushing back against certain powers. I don't think that that's beyond them. I don't think that that's out of the scope of what they would do to solidify and keep control of the system. You know, so that there'll be false flags that come from two people who we would think are actually opposition. Does the ADL call up Elon Musk and say, hey, you know what? Go ahead and sue us. We think it'd look good for your position as the controlled opposition. I don't know if they do that. It wouldn't shock me. It just wouldn't shock me. I mean, what does he mean he's going to sue the ADL? You can't sue the ADL. Everybody knows it. So it's almost like a scam to begin with. He's suing the entire Jewish lobby around the world, really? I mean, but you're keeping Alex Jones off Twitter? The two things don't even go together.
So let's leave Elon alone and just evaluate the Anti-Defamation League.
Yeah.
Is this, none of this surprises me because I do think the ADL, the NAACP, when I talk about the Alphabet Mafia, the BLM, LGBTQ, I'm also talking about the ADL and the NAACP, these front organizations that are just what you said, using Jewish identity or black identity to impose Marxism on American culture. And so I'm not surprised. I am, the thing that fascinates me, and I said I was gonna try to leave Elon out of it, but the thing that fascinates me is that Elon's public feud and possible lawsuit, to me, will give people more confidence in challenging the ADL and other Jewish organizations and grifts that, try to silence people with the charges of anti-Semitism. Every time what they did to Kanye, what they did to Kyrie has emboldened people and spelled out for people like, oh man, the people you can't criticize are the people that actually control you. And the more that comes out in public, I think people's rebellious spirit will compel them to start speaking the truth about what some of these organizations, ADL, NAACP, BLM, LGBTQ, are actually up to.
all these organizations are in flux. You know, we are in the fog of war. It's the law of uncertain outcomes and unintended consequences. The ADL and Israel as a political entity in general has to reevaluate where they are in this geopolitical jump ball, right? Israel as a nation, and then all of these ancillary organizations that claim to protect the identity or the prosperity and well-being of the Jewish people. Everybody has to decide how the world's going to burn now, right? Make your choice, live with your decision. Israel, many people in Israel, I get messages from Jews in Israel all the time who say, look, the ADL doesn't represent us. And even furthermore, we are vehemently opposed to the Jewish identity being used to usher a new world order. My late friend, the great Dr. Zev Zelenko, I still keep his text messages in my phone to this day, who went before the Mosaic court there in Israel and said, listen, the vaccine is going to eventually end up being a genocide against the Jewish people. And there are many people who have a problem with the way that the Jewish identity has been wielded in geopolitics. And at the same time, you know, people have to understand that there was a covenant between the Jews and God. There is a covenant. There is a connection between the Judeo-Christian heritage and faith practice and God. And so eventually, we have to assume that whoever Satan commissions will actually go after the Jews again. And I said it before on the show, and I'll say it again. What happened after World War II? We all feel like we won World War II. We didn't win World War II. All that happened after World War II is the globalists were able to restructure their plan behind the consensus and participation of most common people all around the world in the wake of a huge death toll, and the Jews lost their faith. And many Jews from that era that are still living today will testify that many Jews in the Jewish community all around the world lost their faith in such a horrendous tragedy. And I say that all to say this: the ADL is an independent organization. They're going to take on fire. They're going to take on fights. They're going to take on scrutiny. They're going to try and dish it out. Everybody's going to try and play their position to their advantage. The question that American citizens have to ask is, what's advantage for us? Is it an advantage for us to defend Israel at all costs? Is that an advantage for us? When we pull out of the Ukraine, which we're about to do, and we pull out of Taiwan, which we're going to be forced to do, all roads lead back to Israel. The entire military-industrial complex, the entire foreign policy for America has been that Israel is the final bastion of the Western hold on geopolitics. So, you know, that's a decision that we're going to have to make as politicians, as myself running for Senate seat. These are things that are going to have to be discussed. Before, you couldn't even discuss them without being called anti-Semitic, right? You couldn't even question whether or not we should protect Israel without being called anti-Semitic. But I have Jews around me every day who are saying we need to have the conversation. And maybe we need to pull the Jews out of Israel and bring them to America. I wouldn't mind that. I'm just brainstorming. But the point is, before recently, all of these conversations were off limits. Now we're going to have them one way or another.
Royce, thank you so much. Great job as always. You guys hop in the comments and tell us what you think of this conversation. Whose side you on? Elon Musk, ADL? Are you a bit more inspired by what Elon Musk is doing than perhaps Royce White is? Tell us in the comments. We'll see you next time. Help us grow the Fearless Army. Pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with all of your fearless friends.